This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Your legs are rotting from the inside out, turning into useless fat while you sleep. You eat healthy, you eat eggs, but the decay accelerates every single day. You're walking on ticking time bombs. One stumble, one fall, and you may never stand up again, unless you change this one thing. Imagine stepping off a curb tomorrow morning. It's a movement you have done thousands of times, automatic and thoughtless. But this time, your knee buckles. There is no warning, no pain beforehand, just a sudden, terrifying collapse. Then comes the sound, a sickening snap that echoes in your ears. That sound isn't just a broken bone. For a person over the age of 60, it is often the sound of a door slamming shut on your independence. It marks the moment you transition from being the captain of your own life to becoming a passenger in a system of hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and dependency. Right now, as you sit comfortably watching this, a silent destruction is taking place inside your body. Your leg muscles, the very pillars that hold your world upright, are slowly dying. They are dissolving from the inside out, turning from robust protective tissue into useless fat. And the most terrifying part? The healthy breakfast you have trusted for decades is letting it happen. You are eating eggs, you are walking your steps, you think you are doing everything right, but your body has changed the rules of the game without telling you. You are playing by the rules of a 30-year-old, but your biology has shifted. You are walking on ticking time bombs, and unless you defuse them, the explosion is not a matter of if, but when. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We are here to have a conversation that most doctors are too busy to have with you. We are here to talk about why you are losing strength despite your best efforts, and more importantly, how to stop it before that fateful step off the curb changes everything. If you value your freedom, if you want to be the one who carries your grandchildren rather than the one who needs to be carried, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support fuels our mission to bring you life-saving nutritional strategies that go beyond the common advice. Hit that subscribe button, and let's build a future where you stand strong. Now, let's face the invisible enemy. It has a name: anabolic resistance. Think of your muscles like a house. When you are young, the doors to this house are wide open. You eat protein, maybe a couple of eggs, and the nutrients walk right in, repairing the roof, strengthening the walls, and building new additions. But as you cross the threshold of 60, something strange happens. The doors begin to close. They get stuck. They lock. This is anabolic resistance. Your muscles become deaf to the signals that used to make them grow. You send in the same construction crew, your eggs, your toast, your milk, but they are left standing outside, unable to enter. The house doesn't get repaired. The foundation cracks. The walls weaken. And eventually, the house collapses. For years, we were told that eggs were the gold standard. Nature's perfect food, they said. And for a young person, they are. But for you, they might be failing you. The hard truth is that an aging body requires a much louder knock to open those stuck doors. The protein in an egg is like a polite tap on the door. It's too quiet. Your muscles simply don't hear it anymore. You need a battering ram. You need specific nutrients that don't just ask for entry, but demand it. We are seeing an epidemic of what we call skinny fat legs in seniors. The leg looks the same size from the outside, but inside, the muscle fibers, specifically the fast twitch fibers responsible for catching you when you trip, are disappearing, replaced by marbling fat. It's like termite damage in a wooden beam. It looks solid until you put weight on it, and then it shatters. This is the reality of sarcopenia combined with anabolic resistance. It is a biological crisis that requires a tactical nutritional response, not just eating healthy. We are about to reveal a new arsenal of foods. These are not just meals. They are keys designed to unlock those stubborn doors. We are going to show you proteins that act like electric currents, shocking your muscles back to life. But before we reveal the first weapon in this arsenal, I want you to look at your own habits honestly. Let's try a small experiment. I want you to think about your breakfast this morning. Based on what I just told you about your muscles becoming deaf to standard protein signals, what do you think is the bigger risk factor for your legs right now? Question: which scenario do you think is more dangerous for your muscle health after age 60? A. Eating a low protein breakfast like toast and coffee that sends no signal to your muscles. B. Eating a standard protein breakfast like 2 eggs that sends a signal too weak for your muscles to hear. Think carefully. Is it the silence or the whisper that lulls you into a false sense of security? Type A or B in the comments below. Your answer might reveal more about your future health than you realize. Now that you understand the silent crisis happening within your legs, we must arm you. The old tools, the simple eggs and toast of your youth, are no longer sufficient. We are entering a new phase of your life where food must be treated as medicine, specifically engineered to breach the fortress of anabolic resistance. We need a biological arsenal designed for one purpose: to force those stubborn muscle doors open and rebuild the foundation of your independence. First, let us introduce the rapid response team for your thighs and calves: whey protein isolate. You might associate whey protein with young bodybuilders shaking plastic cups in the gym, but its true power lies in saving the elderly body. Remember the analogy of your muscles being deaf? Whey protein is not a polite knock. It is a megaphone. It contains a specific amino acid called leucine in concentrations far higher than what you find in steak or eggs. Leucine is the master key. It is the spark plug. When you consume whey, especially isolate, which is stripped of fats and lactose, it hits your bloodstream with incredible speed, usually within 45 to 60 minutes. This speed is critical. Your aging muscles have a narrowed window of opportunity. They are sluggish. If you eat a piece of meat, it takes hours to digest. By the time the amino acids trickle into your blood, the signal is too weak, too diluted to wake up your muscles. Whey arrives like a flood. It creates a sudden, sharp spike in amino acids that shouts to your system, "Build now." It forces the synthesis of new muscle tissue, even in bodies that have been resistant for years. It is the electric starter for an engine that has been sitting in the cold too long. But speed is only half the battle. Your joints, the hinges of your house, are likely rusting. This is where inflammation quietly destroys your mobility. You may feel it as a dull ache in your knees when it rains, but biologically, it is a fire burning down your muscle tissue. To fight this, we turn to the deep ocean. Enter wild-caught salmon. This is not just protein, it is a lubricant and a shield. The omega-3 fatty acids in salmon, specifically EPA and DHA, act like WD-40 for your stiff joints, but their role goes deeper. These fats incorporate themselves into the very walls of your muscle cells. Remember those stuck doors? Omega-3s grease the hinges. They make the cell membranes fluid and flexible again, allowing insulin and nutrients to slip inside more easily. And then there is astaxanthin, the compound that gives salmon its brilliant pink color. This is an antioxidant so powerful it specifically protects the mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your muscle cells. When you climb stairs and feel that burning fatigue in your thighs, that is your mitochondria struggling. Astaxanthin shields them, giving you the endurance to take the next step without pain. However, we cannot ignore the skeletal frame. Muscles need a solid anchor. If your bones are brittle, the strongest muscles in the world cannot save you. This brings us to a crucial, often overlooked ally: Greek yogurt combined with vitamin K2. Regular yogurt is fine, but Greek yogurt is a structural engineer. It is packed with concentrated protein and calcium. But calcium alone is like a pile of bricks sitting on a construction site. Without a worker to lay them, they do nothing. That worker is vitamin K2. While Greek yogurt provides the raw materials, K2 directs traffic. It ensures that the calcium you eat goes into your bones, reinforcing the hip and femur rather than depositing in your arteries where it causes harm. It acts as the binding agent, turning the raw materials of your diet into the concrete stability of your skeleton. Finally, we must consider the circulation. Your legs are far from your heart. Fighting gravity to pump blood down to your feet and back up again becomes harder with age. This is why we deploy hemp seeds. These tiny seeds are rich in arginine, a precursor to nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as a biological road widener. It relaxes your blood vessels, opening up the highways to your legs. This allows the protein, the oxygen, and the nutrients to rush into the lower extremities, nourishing the deep tissues that regular circulation might miss. These are not just foods. They are a coordinated military operation. The whey signals the attack. The salmon clears the inflammation. The yogurt reinforces the fortress walls. And the hemp seeds open the supply lines. Together, they do what eggs alone simply cannot. They rebuild. We have identified the enemy, and we have gathered our arsenal. But owning a weapon and knowing how to use it are two very different things. A pile of bricks does not make a wall, and a stomach full of random proteins does not make a muscle. In the world of senior nutrition, mathematics matters. The rules of addition you learned in school, where 1 + 1 = 2, do not apply here. In your body, 1 + 1 must equal 10. We call this nutritional synergy. The failure of most diets for the elderly lies in isolation. You eat an egg. An hour later, you eat some toast. Later, perhaps a piece of fruit. This fragmented approach is a recipe for frailty. Your body is fighting a war against anabolic resistance, and sending in soldiers one by one is a suicide mission. They get overwhelmed. To win, you must launch coordinated attacks. You must combine foods that amplify each other's power. This begins with the leucine threshold. I mentioned leucine earlier as the master key. But here is the critical detail. You need a specific amount of it at a specific moment to turn the key. Research suggests that for a body over 60, that magic number is around 3 grams of leucine in a single sitting. If you eat a meal with only 2 grams, the switch does not dim or turn on halfway. It stays off. Nothing happens. The protein is burned for fuel or stored as fat, but no muscle is built. This is why you can eat healthy all day and still lose strength. By combining specific proteins, like adding whey to yogurt or lentils to quinoa, you push past that 3-gram threshold. You force the light to turn on. But getting the signal to the muscle is only the first hurdle. The second is getting the door to open. Inflammation is the lock that keeps nutrients out. This is why the ratio of fats you consume is not just a detail, it is a directive. The modern diet is drowning in omega-6 fatty acids, found in cheap vegetable oils and processed foods. These are pro-inflammatory. They rust the lock. To counter this, we don't just add omega-3s. We strategically pair them with our protein. When you eat salmon or hemp seeds alongside your amino acids, you are applying oil to the rusted hinges at the exact moment you are knocking on the door. The anti-inflammatory fats clear the path, allowing the protein to slip inside and do its work. Then there is the issue of insulin sensitivity. Insulin is the delivery truck that carries protein into muscle cells. As we age, our cells often ignore the truck, leaving the delivery on the curb. This is where ingredients like cinnamon or berries become force multipliers. They don't build muscle themselves, but when eaten with protein, they improve the cell's response to insulin. They open the garage door so the delivery truck can drive right in. So the strategy is not just eat more protein, it is eat protein with a partner. Never send protein into your body alone. Always pair it with an inflammation fighter or an insulin sensitizer. It is the difference between shouting into the wind and whispering into a microphone. One is exhausted effort, the other is amplified power. By mastering this synergy, you stop fighting your own biology and start leveraging it. You turn a struggling system into a synchronized machine. To turn this science into strength, we must look at the clock not as a measure of time, but as a map of biological opportunity. Your body is not static. It is a shifting landscape of hormones and metabolic needs. What your legs need at 7 in the morning is vastly different from what they crave at 10 at night. To win this war against frailty, you must synchronize your fork with your circadian rhythm. This is the 24-hour protocol designed to keep your muscle protein synthesis switch turned on around the clock. The battle begins the moment you open your eyes. You have been fasting for 8 hours, and your body is on the verge of cannibalizing its own muscle for fuel. You cannot afford a slow start. This is why the morning is for speed. We bypass the stove and go straight to the blender. Your ignition meal is a smoothie composed of whey protein isolate, a handful of frozen berries, and a spoonful of hemp seeds. This is not just breakfast. It is a rapid infusion. Within an hour, the amino acids flood your system, snapping your body out of a catabolic state and into growth mode. You are literally signaling to your legs that the famine is over and the rebuilding has begun. As the sun climbs, we shift from speed to stability. By lunchtime, we need sustained energy to carry you through the day without the crash that leads to falls. Here, we deploy the slow-burning power of lentils and quinoa. These complex carbohydrates provide a steady release of glucose, preventing the insulin spikes that trigger fat storage. Paired with a soft-boiled egg or a lean protein, this meal is the foundation that keeps your energy steady and your mind sharp. When the afternoon slump hits around 3 o'clock, resist the urge for sugar. That fatigue is your muscles crying out for support. Answer them with a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with walnuts. The probiotics reinforce your gut, the engine room of nutrient absorption, while the healthy fats from the nuts provide a second wind for your brain and your blood flow. You are bridging the gap, ensuring that the construction crew inside your legs doesn't walk off the job before the day is done. Dinner is your opportunity for deep repair. As the day winds down, inflammation often flares up. We counter this with the most powerful anti-inflammatory meal possible: wild-caught salmon paired with sweet potatoes and dark leafy greens. The omega-3s go to work, soothing the joints that have carried you all day, while the antioxidants prepare your cells for the night ahead. But the most critical moment comes right before you sleep. The night is dangerous for the aging muscle. It is a long stretch of starvation, where the body often breaks down tissue to keep vital organs running. You must not leave your muscles undefended. 30 minutes before bed, consume a small bowl of cottage cheese. The casein protein forms a gel in your stomach, releasing a slow, steady drip of amino acids throughout the night. It acts as a guardian, standing watch over your muscle mass while you dream, ensuring that you wake up not weaker, but stronger than the day before. We have given you the science, the tools, and the schedule. But the final piece of this puzzle is not found on a plate. It is found in your mind. The road to rebuilding your strength is paved with consistency, not intensity. You do not need to be perfect, but you must be persistent. The biology of aging is relentless. It does not take days off, and neither can your nutritional defense. To ensure your success, you must internalize 3 non-negotiable rules. First, never let your muscles starve. The 4-hour window is your lifeline. If you go longer than 4 hours without protein, you are inviting decay. Second, embrace the squat. Nutrition provides the bricks, but movement is the mortar. You do not need a gym. Every time you stand up from a chair, do it with intention. Use your legs, not your arms. That simple motion drives the nutrients you have eaten deep into the hip joint. And third, address inflammation aggressively. If your body is inflamed, the door to muscle growth is welded shut. Cut the sugar, increase the omega-3s, and let your food be your medicine. I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking that it is too late. You look at the calendar, you feel the stiffness in your knees, and you whisper that your best days are behind you. I am here to tell you that biology does not care about your birth year. Your muscles do not know how old you are. They only know what you feed them and how you use them. I have seen people in their 80s throw away their canes, not because of a miracle, but because of a method. The choice you face today is stark. You can continue on the path of least resistance, the path that leads to the chair, the bed, and the silence of a life lived indoors. Or you can choose the path of strength. It is a harder path, yes. It requires planning, it requires discipline, but the destination is freedom. It is the ability to walk through a park without fear. It is the strength to lift a grandchild without hesitation. It is the dignity of standing on your own 2 feet until the very end. Don't let the fear of a broken bone dictate your future. Take control of your next meal. Start with 1 smoothie. Start with 1 walk. Your body is waiting for the signal. Give it the tools it needs, and it will surprise you. Your strongest days are not a memory. They are a possibility waiting for you to create them. We have journeyed together through the biology of aging, from the terrifying sound of a bone snapping to the microscopic miracles of protein synthesis. We have dismantled the myth that frailty is an inevitable consequence of getting older. We have proven that while your body changes, it does not have to wither. The narrowing window of anabolic potential is not a wall. It is simply a tighter target that requires better aim. The information you have received today, about whey protein's speed, salmon's protective shield, and the nocturnal guardianship of casein is power. But power unapplied is useless. The tragedy I see in clinics is not people who didn't know better. It is people who knew but waited until Monday, until the new year, or until the first fall to make a change. The body you will live in 10 years from now is being built by the meal you will eat 10 minutes from now. There is a version of you in the future. See them clearly. They are 85 or 90 years old. In one version of this future, they are confined to a room, waiting for assistance to perform the most basic human functions, their world shrunk to the size of a bed. In the other version, they are walking through a garden, lifting a suitcase into an overhead bin, or dancing at a wedding. The difference between those two futures is not luck. It is not genetics. It is the cumulative effect of the choices you make starting today. It is the scoop of protein powder instead of the bagel. It is the walk around the block instead of the hour on the couch. You possess the blueprint. You have the tools. The anabolic resistance that threatens your independence is formidable, but it is not invincible. It can be outsmarted. It can be outmaneuvered. Your muscles are incredibly forgiving. They are waiting, right this moment, for the signal to grow. They want to support you. They want to carry you. All they ask for is the right fuel. Do not deny them. Do not deny yourself the vibrant, strong final chapter you deserve. The clock is ticking, but it is not counting down to zero. It is keeping time for your rhythm of renewal. The lesson, the most profound takeaway here is that aging is not a passive decline. It is an active negotiation. Many of us treat our bodies like old cars that we just hope will keep running without maintenance. But the truth is, an aging body requires more premium fuel, not less. The mindset shift must move from eating to satisfy hunger to eating to signal survival. Every meal is a text message you send to your DNA. If the message is weak, low protein, high sugar, your DNA reads it as shut down and conserve. If the message is strong, high protein, leucine rich, your DNA reads it as build and repair. You are the author of that message. How to apply this today? Do not try to change your entire lifestyle overnight. That is a recipe for failure. Start with the anchors. The morning anchor. Change only your breakfast. Commit to the whey protein and berry smoothie for just 7 days. Do not worry about lunch or dinner yet. Just get the first hour right. The movement anchor. Commit to standing up from your chair without using your hands 5 times a day. Once these 2 anchors are set, the rest of the protocol becomes easier to build upon. Win the morning, and you win the day. We would love to hear your thoughts. Please answer this simple question in the comments below. Which of the 8 proteins mentioned today, like salmon, Greek yogurt, or hemp seeds, are you most excited to add to your grocery list this week, and why? Read through the comments to see what others are choosing. You might find some great meal ideas. If you found value in this video and want to help us continue our mission of building a stronger, healthier community for seniors, please subscribe to ElderFit Nutrition. Your subscription tells us that this information matters and gives us the motivation to research and create more deep dive content just for you. Thank you for watching, and remember, your strongest days are ahead of you.